Oil and Gas Investors' exclusive Premium Blend video series presents in-depth conversations with executives in E&P, finance, transactions, and technology.
I don't know that it's a bubble. We certainly have seen some increases in gains in various different measures, various different commodities, and energy resources. However, you got to remember, we're having a confluence of a number of economic dynamics. First, we're having an increase in supply that no one expected to ever have. Two, we don't demand this energy the way we used to for a number of reasons. Not only is that a global situation because there's a global economic meltdown, particularly out of China, which is a huge consumer, a massive consumer of all things commodity, especially energy. But because we have more efficient machinery, factories, plants, jets, cars, so we don't need, or we don't have the demand for energy the way we used to. Natural gas is clean, and now we have a lot more of it. So if we just have to find the end user, in addition, we also need to find new end users. That is, if we can find people who are willing to take on more cars that are driven on natural gas, that'd be a great thing to have. I think that we're going to have to get some regulation and encouragement by the government for us to export more LNG, certainly to our European friends, because they consume a great deal of that. But we should integrate. Again, this really comes from government, has to come out and give some incentives to get the natural gas to your Alcoas of the world, your electricity producers, and give them incentives. Otherwise, what's going to change? What's going to change for natural gas? Driving demand lower. That's very important to consider or to think of. You have Brazil in political turmoil and economic chaos. India is very good as far as demand. That's a positive thing. However, India has never gotten its economic act together, primarily because there's no infrastructure. There's tons of ability and desire, but if you don't have an infrastructure, you can't get stuff in and out of ports, you can't get things up and down highways. I always joke that China has the greatest economists because they come out and tell you what GDP is going to be, and it's correct. It's like, that's fantastic. I wish I could do that. But you do know they're deteriorating. You just have to look at commodity prices. You have to look at energy prices. And then, of course, the letter that I skipped in the BRICS, which is Russia, they are a political problem. They're an economic problem. Economically speaking, I'll get to oil in a second, but economically speaking, it reduces the demand for U.S. manufacturers. And so we have to pull back on that. We use less oil then. Oil is denominated in U.S. dollars, as are many commodities. So you can see that in correlation. It's tightly correlated.
To stay up to date on the most recent Hart Energy videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking here.